I've not
You have chosen to go to bed with an enemy.
I've not.
You're right. No, my friend. Don't. Stop there. Stop there.
Because you know this
Stop there. Why
you
are you
guys are-
recording? Why are you recording?
I'm not recording.
Why are you recording us?
No, I'm not
What is
recording.
it?
No, you're recording us.
No, I'm not recording.
What is an African?
To you.
An African.
Yeah.
You by this is our continent, right?
Yes.
When we say our continent is because we are from this continent, right? Yes. You see you want to
No,
contradict.
I'm following you. I'm following you.
Yes. We are from Africa. We were born here and raised up here on this very soil, which is Africa. To you, what's your definition of an African?
So based on that, that's the definition, your definition of an African.
Yeah.
My definition of an African is somebody who was not only born here. An African is not defined solely on pigmentation. An African is somebody who was born in the country. Listen. Here's my definition of an African. Does it end with being born here, or does it end with geography? An African is a person who's born in Africa, or somebody who's born in Africa and somebody who has the interest of Africa at heart and who striving to see the betterment of this continent in all fronts. That's an African. So your definition of African only ends at geographical level. You see? And on pigmentation.
Yours and
because we have
on the intellectual level.
Listen.
Yours is an intellectual.
No, listen. Let me finish up.
Yours is an intellectual.
Is
it true? Intellectual.
No, it's not intellectual.
You know, it is intellectual.
It's not intellectual.
It is. You were presenting it like that.
Let me finish up. You will find even black person. If you use a pigmentation definition, you find a black person who doesn't have African.
No, don't use pigmentation as an
listen.
African.
No. I'm saying. I'm trying to exploit all other use that are being used as a definition of an African. I'm saying you can find a black person being born here, but not having the loyalty or the interest of the betterment of this continent, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's limited when you use pigmentation and when you use geography. So you must have the love, the loyalty.
A black person.
For the betterment of the continent.
So the black person that was born in let's say the black person from Australia, in a Aboriginal.
I know Aboriginal.
Yes, is according to you, that person is an African, right?
A black person.
Yes, the one that is in Aboriginal.
Yes.
He's in Africa.
He's not an African.
It's an African.
That is from Australia.
No, African.
Aboriginal.
You have to
Brother,
stay in Africa.
let me try to enlighten you. Africans have explored certain areas or geographical places in the world before the white men.
Yeah.
That's why we are so scattered around the world. Before they came here and shipped us to their foreign lands. We were there. You'll find there are Africans in India. India is the second place in terms of numbers that has the largest population of African descent. You see, so those are Africans, and those ones that are found in the Pacific, of which is Australia and the Samoa and the New Zealand. You'll find Africans there. Those are Africans there. They were taken there. Some of them they went willingly. Some of them they were forced to go there.
But you can't.
So those ones, they are also Africans because they still have love and loyalty of Africa.
Which ones?
Those ones in the Pacific. You go to Australia now. You go to the Pacific Islands now.
Are you because you are consolidating this. You just wanna you just wanna bring this thing because of Africa. Is it just because of poverty? Because there's a poverty in Africa and there's a poverty in those people. Are you doing this because of you've been suppressed a lot, that your intellectual has even grown and matured to that level?
No.
Because it sounds like it's maturity
No,
of your intellectualism, which comes with the conviction of you being, a victim of suppression of colonialism.
We are brought together. We are brought together by heritage.
Poverty.
No, not poverty, by heritage, by our origins. That's what brings us together. All of us. Those Africans that are being called the Aborigines in Australia, in the New Zealand, they are Africans. They are not Aborigines. The white man is the one who came up with labels, came up with tags.
So let's talk about the people. What you call these people?
I want us to go
The
back.
scientists.
I want us to go
The
back.
scientists
I want
have
us to go
discovered.
back. I want us to go back to the point
What
of where
do
you
they-
are going to.
So
get to
it
the
means.
enemy.
Do you know that whole humanity is an African? Do you know? Yes or no? Do you know?
Apparently.
You know that the whole humanity is from.
On
The
the basis-
archaeologists have discovered that people
On
are
the
from.
basis that the oldest fossil was found in Africa. So you are arguing.
No. But do you
On that
do you
basis-
understand that?
I understand that, but
You understand that?
I understand that,
You embrace that?
and I don't
Do you
embrace
embrace
that. I understand that. I understand it because of the thing. The science has a nature of, has a way of like contradicting itself.
But their argument is good evidence. Your
There's
argument
evidence.
does not have
Tomorrow
evidence.
Tomorrow there might come another evidence
Yes.
that says no, humanity, comes from somewhere.
Yeah. But what
So,
I'm saying is the
now-
argument is very important when you're doing research. The argument must have, according to what we were hearing today, the argument must have evidence. They have evidence. Whether you argue, whether you go beyond to look at things changing in future. At the moment, as we are speaking right now, there's the evidence of a humanity coming from Africa.
So now
For now,
explain-
you don't have, your argument does not have evidence, does not produce,
explain-
and you're not willing to produce evidence.
Explain now the origins. Explain now.
Because
the
yours is
different-
intellectual.
Explain
Intellectual evidence.
Give me a chance. Explain the pigmentation of the people found in Europe. Then and explain the pigmentation of Africans. Are you going to base that on
Pigmentation does not come from the origins. It comes from
the anatomy of the white man is different from the anatomy of the black person?
Yes, that is because of the nature itself. If you go to Sierra Leone or if you go to countries like Malawi, you find people that are quite, they're very dark. Could have been whatever the case.
They are Africans who
Even those Australians that you're
They are
talking about,
Africans.
the white
They are
Australians
Africans who
are
have-
getting darker. But when the
they are
winter,
Africans who have conquered Spain. They've stayed there for a very long time. And then why they haven't changed their pigmentation? Why their pigmentation haven't changed? And even their portraits, their sculptures, they are being portrayed as black.
So
They haven't transformed or gone through any transition.
so you mean
In
the
terms of the anatomy.
white person that is in Africa is not an African?
It's not.
It's not enough.
It's not an African.
What
kind of an
evidence?
African?
What evidence do you have?
What kind of a brother? Of
No. What evidence do you have?
What
No.
kind
You are blaming me for having a white girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm saying that's an enemy.
It's not an enemy.
It's an enemy.
It's an enemy to you intellectually.
Not intellectually. On materially and ideologically and culturally. It's an enemy.
Are you jealous that white people have achieved a lot than you?
At what expense?
At the expense of the weaklings.
What? Explain
So you are
that.
weak.
Explain that. No. Explain that.
No, I'm not a part and parcel of all the bullocks that black people are crying out, for.
My brother.
I'm not part and parcel of the black people trying to blame. If you're not clever enough, if you let things happen, your kings sold the land. Your emperors sold the land to white people. They were weak. So you cannot blame a white person.
Since all you're an academic.
You cannot blame a white
Since all
person.
you're an academic, right?
You cannot blame a white person
Since all you're an
for
academic.
being clever than you.
Since when you're an academic, right? Since when you're an academic.
Me, I'm not an academic,
What are
and
you?
don't argue with me
No,
based on academic.
No, I want to establish something first.
I'm not a scholar. I'm not academic.
What are you?
I'm just here to study. I'm just studying.
Okay.
Yes.
Since when you are a student.
Yes. Thank you.
since all you're a student, right? Do you have empirical evidence that can substantiate your points? Can you substantiate what you're saying right now? That our kings and queens and the emperors, they sold our land and they sold their own people to the foreigners when they came here. Can you substantiate what your allegations?
Man, I like that. I cannot because I know you've
That
already.
means
I cannot because
give me
you've
reference
come
so
with
I
the
can
answers
search
already.
now.
You already got the answers.
Give me
You already
a link.
got the answers.
Give me.
Even if I try to produce the
Let me
evidence,
give
you
us-
will still argue. It's
Brother,
not like I
brother.
cannot defeat you.
Brother, let me give you my side of the story
Yeah.
of why Africans find themselves in this situation of weakness.
What situation are you talking about?
Situation whereby they are underprivileged.
So you-
Listen, give me a chance. They are economically, socially, and culturally being robbed and deprived and underprivileged by centuries and centuries of oppression and suppression by the Europeans when they came here.
Okay.
When they came here via Egypt, because the first European on record to enter Egypt was at Alexandria by the Greeks. You see? So now the Europeans entered there, and then one of the tools they used is religion to weaken our institutions in our society. When our institutions have been weakened, they resorted to what? To taking our economical means, like land, like even our intellectual property. They distorted it. They robbed of our sense of our like knowledge of self for centuries, my brother. So you can't come here and say no, we willingly gave our land, we willingly gave our woman. You know, they even bastardize our society. That's why I'm saying I'm having like a problem with you like now in terms of fighting for the empowerment and for the betterment of the African race. Here you are, you go to bed with an enemy, a race that has been known to mutilate, to utterly kill your people for centuries. And here you are, you proudly say because of it's fashionable.
It's fashionable.
You know, I think you don't know your history.
I'm not gonna dig the history.
No,
What
because
are
you are
you doing?
ignorant.
What are you doing right
Because
now?
you are ignorant.
Okay,
You're
what
not
are-
going to dig it
what are
because
you
you are
doing?
ignorant.
What are you doing right now
About
in
what?
order to not to feel like you're a refugee in your own continent, in your own country?
Right now.
What are you doing right now,
Right now.
to make sure that
Right
you
now.
and your people and my people, Africans, as you call them as black people, that
No, I'm not black.
because it looks like
I'm not black.
you are accusing people, you're accusing the white people of being, clever than
You
you.
can't say they are white. They are
Right
Europeans.
now, what are you doing to make
What
sure
am
that
I doing?
yes,
There's a very valid.
other than arguing,
Exactly. Let me give you an answer.
what are you doing with the resources that are in Africa? You as an
I think
individual.
that's a very ignorant and naive question to ask. Take it to
I think
conclusion.
You're
That's a very-
attacking me. You're attacking me.
Yes, I'm attacking you because you are the one who possesses ignorance. Listen, Africans cannot do anything because their means of production have been taken from them. They have been broken apart. Their social structure has been broken apart. The moral fiber has faded. Institutions of the society of the African people, they are dismantled. So now, to answer your question of what I may do, first, one important thing is consciousness. Firstly, we need to make people aware of the oppression and suppression and the injustices happening around them and what to do with those injustices. We need to conscientize our people first. Consciousness is the key, and that's what I'm doing right now. Because what I'm doing now, I'm trying to enlighten and trying to reverse more than 300 or years of suppression and oppression of my people.
Do you see yourself becoming Stephen Biko?
No. I don't see myself becoming Steve Biko. And I don't see anyone becoming Steve Biko.
Patricia Lumumba?
Patrice Lumumba. I don't see myself or
Nkrumah?
No, I can't.
Malcolm X.
I can't. I don't see myself becoming one of those people.
So it's quite difficult, isn't it?
No. Listen. I see myself becoming myself. Because now the time of our generation, the time of Nkrumah generation and Sobuka generation and then Biko generation, they're different.
So if
We
you
are faced by different challenges.
so you can't beat them, what do you do if you can't beat them? You join them, right?
You kill them.
You kill the rest.
No, you kill them. They've killed your people for many years.
They're still there. In Nigeria, there are close to 200 million people. Just Nigerian alone.
What?
So the population is close to America. So it means you guys, you still got the brains, you still got the population, you still got the big number of Africans.
My brother, our
right
land
now.
is owned. Our land. The land. The house you are leasing. The very land you are leasing to people. The very money you are using in your bank account. It's nothing compared to the white boy sitting there at the farm, tending the farms, managing the farm.
And I think the
It's
best
nothing.
thing, you are a student, I think you should complete your education, get a job, and get a land, buy a house, buy a car, enjoy your life,
It will never,
and look after yourself.
my brother, it will never suffer where I have to buy the land or I afford to buy the land. It will never. Even yourself, you will never be able to buy land. You will die, and generation to come of your lineage will die because they can't. It's very they are constraints.
So it's
They're
it's a losing battle.
Constraints are being structured in a way that your people can't be able to access land and able to produce for themselves. You get my point? So it's a pipe dream. Because education right now, your education that you hold close to your heart.
No, I'm not educated.
No, you are educated. What are you doing right now? What are you studying? What are you studying?
I live in the jungle. I'm in the jungle. I'm not educated. This was a nice conversation with my leadership. Yeah. This is gonna be posted on YouTube very soon.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's not a serious video.
We had a great conversation with you.
But you need to stop. You need to stop going to the bed with the enemy. What do we have to say about that? That you're going to bed with the very same people who have deprived your race.
Now, white people that are from Africa, Africans,
Household.
Africans, the proof is there, and the proof is in the pudding. Looking at their forefathers coming from Africa, their mothers and fathers are from Africa. They went to school. They were born here. The only place
Can I
they
ask
know.
you a question?
The only place they know.
Can I ask you a
No,
question?
no, wait. The only place they know is here in Africa. That's enough evidence.
Can I ask you a question?
We should stop blaming white people.
Can I ask you a
Do
question?
something.
May I ask you a question?
Build the
May
institutions.
I ask you a question?
Okay.
If you take a lion and lioness and take them to Canada, you take lion and lioness to Canada and they breed and they have little cubs. What will those cubs be? What would you call those cubs? What would you call those cubs? When those cubs become like older, you know, what would you call those cubs?
I have no idea.
No, you can't say you have no idea. There will be lion. There will be lion.
Yeah.
You're being ignorant. You take lions and take them to Europe and you breed them there and they have little cubs. After those cubs have grown properly, there will be lion and lioness and other lions, you know. So this example is similar to what I'm saying, that you take people from Africa, you take them to the Americas, they get there, they multiply. What do you call those people? You call them Africans.
Yeah.
You see?
Okay.
So similar to Europeans. They came here and then they multiplied. We call them Europeans. You can't call them Africans.
They don't even call themselves Africans.
You call themselves Africans. They don't call themselves Africans. They consider themselves Europeans. You understand?
The other one he calls it is an Afrikaner. They're not Europeans, Afrikaner. Just like I got a Tswana, you know. So you guys are lost.
No. You are lost.
You are brainwashed, brother.
You
Brother, you are brainwashed.
With the enemy.
You are brainwashed.
I am not sleeping with an enemy.
You are sleeping with the enemy. You are sleeping with the enemy. I think you are naive because you don't know the history of the land you are in. You don't know the history. You don't know the history of your people. Do you know the history of your people?
I know the history of my people.
What is your culture?
We're gonna end this conversation. We had a discussion with one of the consciousness comrade. He believes that white people in South Africa, white people in Africa are not Africans. So it's up to you, if you're white, you're watching this, to decide whether you think you're white, you think you're a white African or you're a white European. I say, if your forefathers, your mother, your father are from Africa, you are an African. And help your brothers and sisters